This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, now there's a video I want to talk about. I see a lot of cats in the gym. They do this stuff all the time. And I'm scratching my brain and I'm sitting there and I'm wondering, I'm like, what's going on with you, dude? Or what's going on with you, dudes? What's going on with you, girls or chicks? Why are you guys doing this stuff? This doesn't make any sense. Do you guys realize if you use just a simple amount of common sense, do you guys realize how damaging this stuff can be for your vital organs? And the title of this video is I'm my own pre-workout. You should be your own. I'm going to say that again. I'm my own pre-workout. You should be your own. The reason why I'm saying this is because, that's the thing with people. That's the thing with status quo. Folks like to get caught up into what we call the common norms, the societal norms, the stuff that, people want to be a part of because they want to feel that they belong. It's like a sense of affirmation, but really it's stupidity at the highest level. People always want to do stuff because they hear, quote unquote, this person has done it, or it's being promoted so heavily, in the sports industry, in the bodybuilding industry, in the industry, that's all about fitness. So they feel that, hey, since it's being promoted, it's the right thing to do. No, this is why I always tell folks, you gotta do your research, you gotta have knowledge, you have to have understanding of these things. So you have to understand pre-workout, it has long-term damaging effects to the heart and long-term damaging effects to your kidneys. I'm gonna say it again. Pre-workout has long-term damaging effects to your heart and long-term damaging effects to your kidney. There's a reason why it has those long-term damaging effects. The reason being is because what pre-workout does is it is a stimulant, right? But they took this stimulant and then they kind of basically sprinkled steroids on it. And then they basically said, hey, if you take this before you work out, you'll have all the energy in the world to be able to lift these weights. In theory, it sounds like it's something that would make sense, right? No, it doesn't make sense because that's the whole purpose of working out in the first place. When you work out, your body is going to go through a good amount of stress. I'm going to say that again. When you work out, your body is going to go through a good amount of stress within itself. You're going to stress a lot of your vital organs, but in a good way. And that's if you're working out properly, which I will talk about, what working out properly looks like in a video in the distant future. But I want to harp on this aspect of it. Your body is going to stimulate itself through working out. Hence, your heart rate is going to increase. Hence, your body is going to be put under a considerable amount of stress. Again, if you're working out properly and efficiently and you're working out intensely. So when this is happening, your body is going to stimulate itself. So hence, there is no need for pre-workout. This is why I've said in the previous video, if you eat what's called a healthy, nutrient-dense, well-balanced diet, there will be no need to have pre-workout. You know why? Because you will have gotten the natural BCAAs from the food that you eat. You will have gotten all of those substance or those vitamins. They put, artificial chemicalized versions of those vitamins in these pre-workouts, but you will get the natural form of vitamin C and B12 in the foods that you need to eat in order for you to have the energy to gear yourself up or to muster yourself up to work out efficiently and properly. Hence, there is no need for pre-workout. You know what your pre-workout should be? Your own willpower. I'm going to say that again. Your pre-workout should be your own willpower. And it's not a knock on folks, but I see a lot of people here advertising that they're a natty. Now, if you don't understand what the word natty means, I'm going to explain it to you and break it down into simple science. Natty is a bodybuilding term for a natural bodybuilder. But for you to call yourself a natural bodybuilder, you have to pretty much be natural in its true essence and in its true form. You can't pick and choose which form of natural you want to be. And that's the problem with folks nowadays. They want to select what makes sense to them, and they don't understand that still doing this is still giving you an added advantage. It's still cheating in a sense. So when you take BCAAs and you take pre-workout, you are cheating yourself. In the long run, it's going to cause damaging effects to you, but in the short term, you are cheating yourself. You're not truly a natural bodybuilder because you have not implemented willpower. Willpower will ensure that you are a natural bodybuilder. I'm going to say that again. Willpower will ensure that you are a natural bodybuilding. This is what a natural bodybuilder looks like. Sleeping well. And sleeping well is getting anywhere between 6.5 to 8 hours of sleep. Eating right. Eating a well-balanced, nutrient-dense, healthy diet. And working out efficiently, intensely, and putting your body under a good considerable amount of stress when you perform your workouts. And then you do this cycle all over again. If you've heard, I've said this in the videos before. If you sleep well, you eat right, and you work out hard, you will produce the results that you need. Hence, there will be no need for pre-workout. I'm going to say it again. If you sleep well, you eat right, and you work out intensely, there will be no need for pre-workout because you have gotten enough rest that your body needs. So hence, your body will be ready to have enough energy going into the next day. So there will be no need for pre-workout. So folks that take this, substance, take these supplements, they don't understand the damaging effects that their body's going to have. And it's not just a damaging effect, it's compounding damaging effects that's going to happen to your body, because it's going to cause you to have mental disorders, because when your body's constantly stimulated like that, it affects the dopamine in your brain. It affects your cognitive functioning. Hence, your ability to think is tampered with. It also affects your ability to sleep, because if you're taking these stimulants, and all you got to do is go look in the back of any pre-workout, you'll see what I'm talking about. They load so much of these different forms of artificial B12, vitamin C's, and all different forms of caffeine into these items that your body's constantly on it's like extremely jittery. So even after the fact, you're still like up, you're still woke, you're still like alive, so the effects that you have in the gym, it carries over. And the other dark side of pre-workout is, your body is extremely intelligent. So your body's going to get used to anything that it takes. So in the long term, as your body is taking something, what do you think is going to end up happening once it's used to it? It's going to need more and more of it to get the same desired effects. I'm going to say that again. When your body gets accustomed to something, because the body is that intelligent, God created a intelligent, efficient machine. Your body is so efficient and intelligent that what it's going to do is it's going to get used to whatever supplement or item that you're taking. That's why you've heard me say this before in other videos. You have to have a wean on and a wean off period. There's nothing on this planet that is so healthy, or there's nothing on this planet that you should be taking on a long-term basis as a long-term solution. I've said this before, whether if it's something that's healthy, and in this case, as I'm talking about pre-workout, which you shouldn't be taking at all, which is something that is extremely unhealthy for you. You should not be taking it long-term, because your body's intelligent enough to understand that it is adapted to it, it's gotten used to it, and guess what? You're going to need more and more of it to get the same desired effects. So why would I want to pump, this powdery junk into my body over and over again and have these shortcuts so that I can get, the biggest and baddest muscles, so that I can get ripped, so that I can have, the body, the desired body that I want, so that I can sit there, and have this incredible physique. Listen, the reality is this: Hard work pays off. You don't need pre-workout. You know, pre-workout is a substitute, a shortcut for the hard work. And for those that's going to debunk me, that's going to say, well, I put a lot of work in the gym. I work hard. Well, shame on you. You know, you should know better because guess what? Your body in itself creates its own anabolic effect. If you activate the natural anabolic effect of your body, you don't need pre-workout. You know, and a lot of you guys in this bodybuilding industry and a lot of you people that prescribe to health and prescribe to, you know, living a efficient and healthy lifestyle should know better. I mean, with all of the resources that's out there, you know, I'm no better than anyone else. All I did was took the time out to do the research, and you could do the same too. There's too much overwhelming studies and research on how damaging pre-workout can be to your body. So why would you take that? Do you want to be that person that's quote unquote a natty or a natural bodybuilder that wants to take shortcuts? Part of being a natural bodybuilder is prescribing to a certain standard. And if you say you're going to be a natural bodybuilder or you're going to be a person that is a natural health person, doesn't necessarily have to have bodybuilder associated or attached to it, then you can't take shortcuts. You understand, like I've said, living a healthy lifestyle is a life journey. This is a lifelong journey. This is not something you take shortcuts, you know, so that you can get the result. Because I told you, when you take shortcuts, you have short-term benefits. You have short-term effects. But when you take long cuts, you have long-term benefits and long-term effects. I'm going to say that again. When you take shortcuts, you have short-term benefits and short-term effects. When you take long cuts, you have long-term benefits and long-term effects. So the reality is this. Is pre-workout something that you need? The answer is no. And it's a resounding no. You don't need that stuff. And all you got to do is take the time out. Don't listen to me because like I always tell you guys, research for yourself. Know what you're putting into your body. Know what you are doing to yourself. Because as you're going to see, if you keep prescribing to taking pre-workout, in the long run, you're going to do damage to your kidneys, which you don't want to do damage to that vital organ because that is the organ that retains fluid. And not only does it retain fluid, it also excretes, or it also tells your body that, hey, you have this amount of fluid that you need to take out. Hence, this is why you go to the restroom and you urinate. The kidney is very smart at knowing how much fluid it needs to retain and how much fluid it needs to get rid of. But if you're damaging the kidneys, then you're damaging an organ that is created in that, you know, sense to do that function. Hence, now you're not only damaging, you know, your kidney's ability to function, you're damaging your ability to be in balance when you do take in the proper fluids that you need to take in. Your kidney won't know what the proper ratio of fluid intake should be because you've done damage to it. So if it's not functioning at its maximum proficiency, how do you expect for it to work in the long run? So you got to think about that. And then you're damaging another vital organ, your heart, because you're taxing your heart. You know, like I said, when you work out, your heart is taxed. You know, it goes to a considerable amount of stress. Obviously, you don't want it to go to too much of a considerable amount of stress because that's how you can go into atrial fibrillation or what they call a heart attack. You don't want that. But what you want is for your heart to go through a considerable amount of stress working through an intense and an efficient workout minus the pre-workout. You know, your body's going to stimulate itself. Your body's intelligent to know by itself through sheer willpower that it's gonna need to stimulate itself. So why take a product to do something that the body is already smart enough to do on its own? You know, I care about you people out here in these streets. I care about you in the health community. I care about you bodybuilders. I care about all you folks out here that prescribe to health. And you guys should know better. And for those who've been doing this for a long time and that's been, you know, selling because they want to sell a product to somebody, shame on you. It's either you lack the knowledge and you don't know or you don't understand, Or you either just choose to, want to sell something to folks because you want to make a quick buck and you don't care about their health and their, long-term effects. And, people are like, sheep out here, man. And there's wolves in sheep's clothing that come out here and sell people all kinds of nonsense, so that, and they sell these different forms of pre-workout, telling you my pre-workout is better than this person's pre-workout, all so that they can turn around and sell you something so that you could take it and be part of the status quo. Stop being part of the status quo. Be your own. I'm going to say that again. Stop being part of the status quo and be your own. What I mean by that is be your own person. Create your own identity. And taking pre-workout, which has damaging effects, which can cause long-term jitteriness, which can cause long-term nerve twitching. Why would you want your body to do that? Why would you want to be sitting still, relaxing, and your nerves are constantly twitching, because of a powdery substance that's filled with a bunch of chemical crap that you've been taking, and all you had to do was stop. Why be part of the bunch? Why be part of the group when you could be your own, man? This is why I say I'm my own pre-workout. Be your own. What I mean by that is be your own pre-workout. Use your own self-will. Use your own willpower, because that's all you need. If you eat properly, you sleep well, and you train hard and you train right, those are the three ingredients that's going to help you to develop and grow muscle. And in the long term, this is muscle that's going to stay on your body. Because see, what people don't tell you about these pre-workouts and these BCAAs and all this other nonsense that they take before they hit the gym, these caffeine pills, hydroxy cuts, all this nonsense. Here's the thing. They have a short-term benefit, right? They show you short-term effects, right? But what happens when you stop taking them? You notice you're not able to hit the same amount of weight, or you don't have the same amount of energy. You feel that you're lethargic because your body gets too dependent on it. Hence, it mimics someone that has a drug addiction. I'm going to say that again. It mimics someone that has a drug addiction, because just like someone who has a drug addiction, pre-workout makes you become too dependent on it. And the reason why I'm drawing the simile between someone that has a drug addiction and someone that takes pre-workout, because when someone has a drug addiction, what ends up happening? Their body gets used to the drug, and hence they have to take more and more of it to get the same desired effects. This is the same thing with pre-workout. All of the crap that's been put in pre-workout, and I'm going to talk about all of the crap that's in pre-workout in another video in the near future. All the crap they put in pre-workout, what its sole intention is to do is to stimulate your body, but to a ridiculous level. But here's the thing. Once your body gets used to that, it's going to want more and more of that powdery substance. Hence, you're taking more and more of that nonsense, putting it down your body so that you could get the same desired effects. That's not natural bodybuilding. That's not being a natty. That's not being a natural health person. Because if you're natural, then you will use things that are from nature, Mother Nature, the nature that God has created. That is the definition of natural. Not taking anything and using your own willpower to generate the force that you need. Your body can produce a certain amount of creatine in it. Your body can produce enough of its own anabolic activity if you activate your gene pool in order for you to generate that force. That's all you got to do, man. Just eat right, sleep well, and have a well-balanced, nutrient-dense, healthy diet. And if you prescribe to those three, because I told you, when you do three things in three, the number three means completion. It's a confirmation of things. When you do things in three, you have completed it, and therefore you have not only completed it, but you've put yourself in prime position to succeed. I love you guys, man. And this is why I felt the need that I had to come out and put a video out here like this. So I'm going to say it before I leave. I'm my own pre-workout. Be your own. This is Henosis Sport. Check it out.